In a world that negativity, hate sell best, their recipe for success has been hard work, authentic family values, all these highest quality of life things that you just don't see anymore. There is hundreds of thousands of us that literally feel like we're family because we've been so invested for all these years. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I damn near made my son poop his pants when Hayden won that heat race. I yelled so loud, man. I was so stoked for the dude. Boys and girls of the moto world, welcome back to the channel. What's going on, you crazy kids? Hope you're all doing well, man. It's good to see you. Thank you guys for the support, as always. So the other day I posted a video called Blink Less. If you haven't seen it, I was basically just talking about all these different things that we're alive to witness right now, things that are going to be talked about forever. And I also brought up the Deegans and how this is a first ever for moto, and then I said they've laid a blueprint that will be replicated for years to come. The reality is, I was wrong. Have they laid a blueprint? Yes. Will it be replicated? Sure. Will it be duplicated? Absolutely not. By saying they've laid a blueprint makes light of just how special it all really is, man. How unique their character traits really are. It minimizes just how unlikely it is for another family to come along with those same rare traits and all being willing to make that same level of sacrifice for years and years. The constant investment, the resilience to the outside perception, and just the overall relentless commitment. Now, will there be a family with a dad having all those character traits? Possibly. Will there be a family with a mom having all those character traits? Possibly. But the entire family? I don't know, man. And yet, instead of acknowledging any of that, people truly believe that their channel's success is all because of Brian's career. Look around, dude. As we speak, there are tons of people building channels or attempting to build channels, basically mimicking the Deegans. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think the more moto content on YouTube, the better. But my point is, having a name that is recognized just isn't enough. The reality is that this special sauce the Deegans have is just that. It's special. Special means rare. Finding success on YouTube is all about consistency and authenticity. People that try to put on an act never last. It's just not sustainable to pretend to be somebody that you're not. Regardless of the space that you occupy, it could be moto, it could be reaction channels, it could be anything that you want, podcasts, you name it. The real you is gonna come through at some point. An act is just not sustainable. And don't get me wrong, any of these guys, Chase Sexton, the Hill Brothers, McAdoo, Faulkner, all these guys that are attempting to start a YouTube channel, Levi Kitchen, they all have a great opportunity to build something really special. But if any of them are going into it thinking that they're going to have success on YouTube because people know their name in moto, they are completely mistaken. The single biggest reason that we will never see this again is those kids, man. It's Haley, it's Hayden, it's Huxon. There are tons and tons of former athletes' kids that follow their parents' footsteps into that sport that they were successful in. But the reality is most of them just don't work out. And that goes back to those same rare character traits that I was talking about. And don't get me wrong, obviously Brian and Marisa are incredible parents. They have worked their tails off to instill the right morals and values and work ethic and you name it into their kids. But the reality is, the unfortunate reality is not all kids get it until much later in life. I mean, you could literally take 4 sets of parents, have them do everything exactly the same, and each of their kids is going to come out completely different. Brian and Marisa are incredible parents that were blessed with very intelligent kids. And that's why I find all this overhyped stuff really comical. Out of all of the current former riders, kids, prospects that we have coming up right now, it's easy to see what I'm talking about. Not everybody takes early success well. I'm not going to bring up any names. I don't talk ill of people. You guys can figure it out. But dude, Haley, look at Haley, man. She is so incredibly impressive. I mean, she's making her way through the ranks of this male-dominated sport, and she takes no BS from anybody. She's just an insanely talented driver who happens to be a beautiful young woman. That hurts a lot of guys' feelings. I mean, it's pretty funny when you go around YouTube and look at videos about Haley and then look at videos about Hayden. The comment sections look very similar. A bunch of old goons just so in their feelings and butthurt that these kids are on their way to accomplishing some big things. Haley's what, 21 or somewhere around there? She is going to do huge things. Just what she's accomplished to this point. She's incredible. She's incredible. And then obviously you got Hayden. I can't even imagine the knot that would have been in my gut watching my newly turned 17-year-old walk to the podium after winning his first ever heat race to get on national television. Like, I mean, you know, as parents, all we can do is do our best, and we just hope that most of the good stuff sticks, right? I can't even imagine what Brian must have been feeling watching Hayden ride to that podium to get on camera in front of everybody, just wondering what he's going to say, and then hearing what comes out of his mouth. The amount of pride that Brian had to have felt in that moment, I can't even imagine. Moments like that as a parent are just inexplicable. I've never experienced it to that level, but I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. And I've told you guys, man, I grew up with Hayden. I grew up with Hayden Deegan of 20-something years ago. My best friend, born to a very successful family. The kid was stupid fast. I mean, stupid fast. If you know anybody that rode motocross in New England around 05 to like 09, they know his name. He had 6 factory bikes in the garage. He got a factory ride. He had a pro-built supercross track in the backyard. He had a 2-minute lap time outdoor track across the street. He had probably a 1.5-minute lap time pure sand track in the sand pit across the other street. Every single opportunity Hayden had, maybe even more. He battles his way all the way through the amateur ranks, which in that day in New England were very, very competitive. You got Jimmy D, you got Justin Barsha, you got AJ Catanzaro, Seth Taylor, Craig Doobie. I mean, the list goes on. Ask AJ Catanzaro about the New England race scene in those days. It was very competitive. And my buddy made it. He made it. He got 9th place in his first ever pro moto. But guess what? Never saw a single pro supercross gate drop. Not one. In fact, he only went on to race one more pro outdoor moto after that first one. And that's because there comes a time when your parents just aren't going to be there anymore to push. And you see the biggest amateur prospects every single year trend backwards right around that same transition time of going from amateur to pro, when all of a sudden dad isn't right there all the time anymore. For somebody to go along and have any success in really any sport, but especially moto, things like accountability, drive, self-motivation, discipline, all of those things have to come from within at a very, very young age. Much younger than your average person really grasps those kinds of things. For a 16-year-old kid to show the kind of discipline and work ethic that Hayden showed really his whole life, it is just so incredibly rare, man. I just don't know that most people watching their YouTube channel really get it. I mean, at 16 years old, the kid is living in an RV right next to the goat farm, just doing his work every day without anybody there to push him. Yeah, his mom and dad try to be there as often as possible, but they have a daughter chasing a NASCAR dream and they want to be there for her too. So there's a whole lot of it that falls on Hayden. You know, he has to be the one to want it. He has to be the one to put in the work. You can't buy that. You can't buy the hours that he has put in, the laps that he has logged, the sacrifices that he has made. They don't sell those things. I mean, that kid, I don't remember how old he was, 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, whatever. He was prepping his own tracks to put in 30-minute motos before school. I don't know about you guys, but most days I have a hard time getting my kids up for school. That's my point. By somebody like me saying they laid a blueprint that's going to be replicated, you're just completely ignoring how insanely rare these kids, never mind the parents, the entire family, how rare these character traits really are, man. And then obviously there is the sustaining of the success. Building a channel like theirs is one thing. Living with the following is an entirely different animal. I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but go check out the autograph lines in the pits before any Supercross race. It's mind-blowing. There's some magic to it because, like myself, there is hundreds of thousands of us that literally feel like we're family because we've been so invested for all these years. I literally feel nauseous when Hayden is on the gate. I'm not even joking, man. I'm not even joking. I get so nervous you would think he was my kid. I've never even met the dude. I've never met him. I've never met his dad. I've never met the family. But that's how so many of us feel because we've been so invested for so long and we just want to see him do well. We want to see him succeed. I'm not even going to lie to you. I damn near made my son poop his pants when Hayden won that heat race. I yelled so loud, man. I was so stoked for the dude. It's incredible to see somebody make those sacrifices, have that relentless commitment for the long game success, and just see it pay off, man. To see those goal boxes get checked one by one, it's incredible to watch. But like I said, on the other side of that coin, it is a blessing and it is a curse. You have hundreds of thousands of people that feel like family, but in reality, you and I, we have no idea. We have no idea, and it's so easy for us to take for granted the level of sacrifice, the level of commitment, the all of these things that they do to put out this message and to put out this content consistently over this really long period of time. It's so easy to take it for granted. And as a society, we have this habit of putting our rock stars on this pedestal to where we completely forget they're just people. The Deegans, they're just people, man. They're just people. Brian and Marisa, just a husband and wife that happen to have a few kids chasing their dreams. And it's so easy for us to just completely forget that they are real human beings. They are a family. They have real problems, just like you and I do. They're not immune to life. They're not immune to all the things all the pressures of the world that all of us feel, not just people chasing professional athletics, that all of us feel. So I guess I just wanted to get on here and clear that up a little bit, because the way that I put that made it sound like it's just so easy for somebody to come along and replicate it again. We are already seeing it's not that easy, man. I really had to remind myself, and I thought I would take this opportunity to remind everybody who watches this channel, really appreciate this journey, man. Soak in all these moments. When Deegs gets a 4th place at his first and second ever Supercross race, celebrate that moment. What the Deegans are doing, this is a first for any major sport. To my knowledge, nobody has ever documented their entire journey. Can you even imagine if you could go back and watch? I said this in that last video. Can you imagine if you could go watch Tom Brady as a little kid and see his journey play out? See him waiting to get drafted after having so much success in college football, aka Hayden in amateurs. After seeing Tom have so much success and battle through so much adversity, and then just watch him watching the draft and see him crying and him and his family crying and him realizing, I'm going to have to go sell insurance. And then all of a sudden, the journey that ensued to be the greatest to ever do it, regardless of what Hayden accomplishes or doesn't accomplish, we are watching history. This is the first of its kind. We will never see it done like this ever again. So appreciate that. Really celebrate these moments and soak it all in, man. Because I truly believe we will be talking about Mr. Deegs and their whole family forever. When Haley finishes 4th in the first stage at Daytona, celebrate that. I don't think I've told you guys yet. I grew up on my uncle's pit crew. I was the tire guy. I've been around stock car racing literally my entire life. I was born into it. We ended up branching off into moto and snowcross and some other things, but I grew up in the stock car racing world. To go through the comment sections after Daytona to see people putting that wreck on Haley, that's just a perfect example. the majority of people watching and giving feedback have no clue what they're talking about. No clue. If you watched what happened and put that on her, you're clueless. You have no idea what you're talking about, and you should just stop commenting on it, because it's not a good look. And the last little ingredient to the magic sauce that the Deegans have, in my opinion, that I'm going to touch on anyways, in a world that negativity, hate, fake lives sell best, their recipe for success has been hard work, authentic family values, time spent together, all these highest quality of life things that you just don't see anymore. Like so many moto heads, I was raised by the metal militia. My dream was to be a crusty demon. I literally went from throwing up horns with this guy to constantly being inspired to be a better dude, a better dad, a better human being by that same guy. That's pretty crazy, man. Speaking of all the negativity and hate all over social media and television and everywhere else, I don't know if you guys realize the second that you click on a video, you can hit the thumbs down button. You can leave a comment that says, you're a moron, you're a terrible person, you don't have any idea what you're talking about, and then exit out of the video. Do you realize what you just did? You just helped grow their channel. That video, because of your engagement, is going to show up on, let's say, 100 more people's YouTube feeds. And out of those people, the amount of them that click on it, it's probably going to go to another 1,000 and then 10,000. It doesn't matter. YouTube can't decipher between a positive or a negative comment. All they know is you clicked on the video and then you engaged. So they're going to show it to more people. I can't even tell you guys how many of these goons channels that I have blocked recently. You got to be really careful what you choose to digest, what you choose to take in. If all you do is run around the internet defending somebody and engaging in these negative conversations, that's all of a sudden going to become part of you. You're going to become a much more negative person. Your life is going to become much more negative if that's all you take in. You got to lift up the positive people. There's plenty of them to pick from in moto. There's so many people trying to lift up these riders that sacrifice it all and dedicate it all to this discipline. Lift up those guys. Click on those videos. Engage with those videos. It is on us as moto fans to support positivity and eliminate negativity. It doesn't happen overnight, but the more and more and more people that stop engaging in these negative videos, the success that they have from it is going to start disappearing. And it's a pretty simple recipe, right? You find somebody that has a huge fan base, like Hayden Deegan, for instance, and then make a bunch of videos and thumbnails and title your videos in a way that you know is going to enrage all these people that want to see him succeed. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? So they're going to come click on it. They're going to comment telling you how dumb you are. And boom, you built a channel based on hating a kid. But at the end of the day, that's on you and me. That's on you and me. Don't engage and it won't spread. It's that simple, bro. Engage with the positivity. Ignore the negativity. Block it all together. I don't want to see it. I don't want to even think about it. So I just block it. I just block it. Be done with it. So as moto fans, I challenge you guys to join me in supporting and engaging with positivity and ignoring and eliminating negativity. That's it. And that brings me back to the Deegans, man. The message that they have sent through their content for all these years has always been consistent and intentional. The message that comes through in their content is very intentional on Brian's behalf. That is his intent, to spread that positivity, to spread those family values and all of those character traits that are really, really important, man. I mean, I'll give you guys an example. I'm a nobody, right? I'm not going to go jump out of my window. I'm good. I'm talking about in the moto social game. I'm a nobody. I'm just starting. This is a brand new endeavor for me, right? 500 subscribers or whatever. I opened up my YouTube studio the other day for this channel, which I haven't been on in a while. It's not big enough to really need to do anything on it, but I happened to just go check. And as a content creator, you get priority notifications whenever a verified channel or a channel with over X amount of subscribers engages with your content. I had 5 notifications. That's kind of weird. So I click on it. My little fanboy heart started doing backflips. The Deegans, the Deegans, the Deegans. And these are long, very well thought out comments. And then I go to check my emails and clear out a bunch of the junk. I have an email saying the Deegans subscribed to your YouTube channel. That is and I'm not just because it's me. That is just that's Brian in a nutshell. He's not doing that for a pat on the back. He is what he talks about. None of it is an act. Like I just told you guys, acts aren't sustainable in this game. None of it is an act. Here's this dude, just brand new to the moto world, brand new to this whole moto social game, but he can tell that I'm all about positivity. I'm all about lifting up riders, and I refuse to talk ill about anybody in the sport. He recognized that right away. He spent some time listening to the shows, listening to the episodes. I'm sure he liked the videos, I'm assuming, and then he subscribed to the channel. He did his part to engage with positivity so it will continue to spread. He did exactly what he always talks about doing. It's not an act. But yeah, my little fanboy heart was thumping, I'll tell you. I showed my wife, I'm like, what is this? She goes, well, how do you know it's not, somebody on their team that does that for him or whatever? I mean, if you've been following them for all these years and you read the comment, you can almost hear Brian's voice saying the words. It's something Brian would say. I know it was him. And yeah, man, that means the world to me. Do you know why? How many videos do you actually think Brian Deegan takes the time to sit down and watch? And he chose mine, and then he watched others of mine? I mean, yeah, that was a moment for me. That was a moment for me. This is a dude I have looked up to since I was a little kid. A dude that I have rooted on since I was a little kid. And now I'm rooting on his kids. And I'm a dad. And I don't know, man. It's just, life is kind of funky. Life is kind of funky. You don't have to be a big religion guy to notice there's just kind of weird things that happen in life that tell you you're right where you're supposed to be. I look at Hayden, for instance. Jason Wygant, Weege, an iconic synonymous voice with moto. His first ever time calling a supercross race happens to be Hayden's first ever time taking a checkered flag in first place. It was a heat race, but still kind of odd. Christian Craig is 31 years old. His first ever time in opening ceremonies was Hayden's first ever time in opening ceremonies. And we all know the relationship between Christian and Hayden. I don't know. I pick up on little things like that, man. It's very interesting. Very interesting, and it just kind of tells me this is all happening exactly the way it's supposed to happen. But yeah, man, to Brian, if you ever do happen to see this and you're still watching, thank you. Very humbling that you would want to listen to what I have to say, especially for this long, but thank you. From one man to another, I just thank you, Brian. I thank you for choosing to put the message that you choose to put onto this platform that all of our kids are constantly digesting information from and constantly absorbing. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to be so intentional with the message that you guys send with your content. I mean, the way that you guys have managed to show the world what something like moto can do for your family, for your quality of life within your family, it's special, man. It's special, and I truly believe we will never see another The Deegans ever again. And one last little thing to Brian, you are making a difference, man. I don't know if you hear it or how often you hear it. You are making a difference. When I come across my kids watching YouTube and I happen to see that it's one of your videos, I feel good about it. I feel good about it. And that's really special, man. There's not many forms of content that I feel good about them sitting down and absorbing. Your channel and everything that you guys put out into the world is definitely one of them. Showing the world that you don't have to resort to hate. You don't have to resort to bringing people down to succeed. Family values, all of these things still mean something. Positivity still has a place in this world. And yeah, just from one man to another, thank you. Thank you for choosing to use your platform the way that you use it. I know I'm not alone when I say I genuinely appreciate it. Anyways, that's all I got for you, guys and gals. Thank you as always for the support. Thank you for watching. Make sure you throw a like on the video. And remember, man, continue engaging with positivity and eliminating negativity. That's the name of the game. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you all in the next video, man. Until then, peace.